Hey, my name's Charles. I want to share something with you that I've been working on for a little while. It's kind of a big deal because I think I've finally unlocked the key, the key for a module, a synth DIY module that I've been working on. So let me switch over to the workbench and show you what we got going on. So what I am trying to do, I've talked about it in a previous video, is this is the Electrosmith Daisy seed pod. So that's the daisy seed on top of it. There's another one next to it, and then this has, you know, controls added, potentiometers, switches, encoder, etc. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to shrink this down into an AE module, and ideally a 1U AE module, and I haven't been able to do that yet. What I can do is shrink it down into a 2U, and I've got a design up on the clectric-diy website about that size. But what I have decided to do is create two modules. One is going to be a full-featured pod equivalent, and the other one's going to be sort of a stripped-down version that fits in the 1U size. The difference will be that the Daisy has a SD card slot and a USB where you can hook up other peripherals, and just, you know, fitting those on the face along with an encoder and potentiometer, switches, and lights just got to be, you know, too restrictive. So you know, like I said, I can fit it in 2U but not in 1U. So I want to show you one of the major things that I had to overcome to get to that point where I can put it in 1U. So AE modular format is very shallow, right? And every millimeter inside of here counts. And so what I figured out is that so while the seat is, you know, not super tall, and I'm trying to use the header pins that you can get directly from Daisy, like have them pre-soldered on, so that folks who want to create their own modules, that's just one less thing that they, you know, have to do. So my goal was to be able to use the seed as it came from Electrosmith and plug it in here. But I also want to be able to use, this is the so inside of this is a STM32 chip, and so this is the ST V3 Mini, which is a program and debug device that you can use with the seed and other STM32 products. So this on the seed connects to the top like so, so it makes it even just that much deeper, right? Adds another millimeter or so on it. Anyway, so the thing that I've been having trouble with is no matter what I did, I couldn't figure out a way to get this to mount low enough into this board. And I tried a couple things. One of the things that I tried was the AE, so this is the AE format from Tangible Waves. This is their DIY kit. I've talked about it in other videos. And it has a 8mm spacer here. Doesn't sound right. It has a spacer here that is the, you know, AE standard size. And one of the things that I tried was inspiration from a company called Wonkystuff. They actually used a 1mm shorter spacer in it, and I've seen that in some of Tangible Waves products as well. So basically, if I make it a millimeter taller, will I be able to fit the seed? And, you know, again, once you put female headers on there, it is just a little too tall or too short, depending on how you look at it. So I decided to try to go a different route rather than using those standard pin headers. And I found this company, Synthux Academy, Synthux, however you pronounce that, Touch. They also use the daisy seed, and what they've done is they've gone to these, I think they're called Swiss headers. Basically they're round instead of square, and they sit a little shorter, right? So, you know, the stack height right here of the seat itself from that board. And they had some that seemed to get a little shorter than mine, but that's the board that I set up myself. And the way these pins work is there's a little cup that accepts the male side and snaps in there. But what that does is it makes it sit up off the board a little bit so that that cup can fit. And there are a ton of different variations of these, including some low profile ones and some ultra low profile ones. The issue is when you get into the ultra low profile one, they're like $13 a piece. There's also the company Milmax makes some that the header socket itself is in the board. So this is 20 pins per side, $40 or 40 pins total. Each of those little sockets that you can embed into the PCB itself was $5 or something, right? So 5 times 40 is going to be way too expensive for, you know, this type of design. One note real quick, I'm using the PCB protoboard that I've designed. These are going to be for sale soon on the website if you want to pick some up. I've got them in both 1U and 2U formats. There's some other fun stuff that might be coming soon to that store, and I'll share that in a different video. Anyway, so even with this, I couldn't get this to be short enough. So I found a different product. This is, and I'll put the details of all these down in the bottom in the description, but this is a different style of header. And I realized it is in fact the same style of header that Electrosmith used. Those are the same size. And these have a surface mount design, and they have alternating pins. Hopefully you can see that. And so it's a little bit shorter than, you know, your standard header. But again, I could not get it short enough to fit underneath that this limitation. So more research, and I finally found it and unlocked it. So this company, Milmax, makes this same size header with the surface mount format, but with what's called bottom entry. So instead of putting those on top of the board and then plugging your device, your daisy seed in on top of it, on the top of the board, you can pass the pins of the seed through the PCB into this style header, and the catch that actually makes the electronic connection is down here at the bottom rather than at the top or maybe in the middle. So this is the top of the board that you're looking at now, and these are loose. I hadn't soldered them in yet, so let me hold them carefully. So the seed is actually on the bottom of the board, very low profile on the bottom of the board, with the headers on top and lots of space left. So the other big sort of revelation, I guess, in shrinking down this design is that if I open up that, or I guess the gap that the daisy seed has, the pitch width or pitch difference is large enough that you can fit potentiometers and other devices into that gap. And I haven't done this yet, but what I've got to do is drill some holes through the proto board to be able to accept the feet. But from everything that I've seen so far, I believe I'm going to be able to squeeze those in just like that, with enough clearance underneath between the seed and the board that I'll be able to mount the seed on the bottom and then mount the potentiometers and other devices right on top. And it's going to be a tight fit. I might actually be looking for something to give it a spacer on this side once I get in there. But bottom line of it all is, you know, it was a cool design challenge to figure out how to get this going. Like I said, I think I've unlocked a secret here that I'm going to be able to use. One other funny thing, this will of course be a lot easier to do when I'm designing a custom PCB for it, but while I'm protoboarding it, the pins, like I said a second ago, are on alternate sides, right? Every other pin is attached to the board. So what I did was I pulled out every other pin, every other socket, and I turned it around. So now there's one more column of holes in the PCB on this side, and so now everything is going to be soldered on the outside of the socket, and that leaves me the space that I need inside to fit potentiometer and encoder. Anyway, so I'm calling the larger version that I'm still working on I'm calling that the Spark, and then like I said, hopefully I'm going to be able to pull off a 1U version that I'm calling the Shock. So it's the C-Electric Spark and the C-Electric Shock. And you know, more news to come on that. Like I said, I am working on that and some other fun products, you know, hopefully I'll be able to get these out onto a web store soon and invite you to take a look. Also, these are open hardware designs, so if you go to clectric-diy, you'll find all of the KiCad files and a BOM file, and even you know, some place to buy parts and that sort of stuff for it. So anyway, my name's Charles. Check out clectric.diy, and look forward to talking to you again. I'll take care.